I was busy on house hunting, by the way. I've been like talking to like a bunch of real estate agents because I'm looking for a house. To those who do not know, I have been looking for a house because a few years ago, my mom bought me a house. You know, things were, I thought were secure. Turns out it wasn't secure. So, yeah, a few years later, and I'm still waiting for the turnover date of that house. And what ended up happening was we filed for a complete refund, like a full refund. We were still working on getting the money, but the timeline from the lawyer is from 6 to 9 months is what they said. So I thought like, oh, okay, 6 to 9 months. Okay, great. Might as well look for a house, right? A few days ago when I was looking for a house, one of my real estate agents like told me, hey, why not go to this place? Obviously, I can't say where it is. It's in South Elysium. I'm not in Japan or whatever. I asked like a bunch of stuff. Does this place flood a lot? Whatever. And it was the perfect place. The place was so immaculate. The place was just good enough for it to be a studio. And I was so excited to live in this place. What ended up happening was I roamed around, just looking around, and I ended up on this store, and this store was owned by someone that I once knew back then. The store was owned by my ex's mom. And I only had like one relationship. And mind you, the astronomical chances of me meeting like a relative of my ex's was kind of insane, you know? Oh, God. So, backstory on the ex before we dive into this. Do you have a girlfriend, Jurard? You. Ah, what am I saying? No. But I do have an ex, though. But that was like a very, very long ago. I think I told a story for my memberships or whatever. But that was like in high school. But that was over. This is me coming out saying you, yes, I was in a relationship. It wasn't a very happy ending sort of thing. So let me tell you guys this story. She and I were classmates. Okay, she was this transfer student from Japan. Every boy out there was like, whoa, she's so cute and everything. And me, the nonchalant guy, was like, there's nothing special about that, but me hidden. I actually have a crush on her. And I'm like, just, you know, seated right next to her and everything. So in my head, I was like, don't think about it, Jurard. Don't think about it. There's a lot of guys she's like talking to. And I'm just this, you know, guy who's just like right here. In my mind, she was like running 24/7. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that's how I first met her. Since we were like seatmates, I got to know her, right? She loved anime. So the reason why I got myself into even more anime was because of her. She was like a nerd. I was still a jock during that time. I was still like very into sports. She was like, here are my favorite animes and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, she's into anime, so let me go ahead and read some animes. So I ended up like reading a bunch of like, you know, animes that she recommended, and I ended up like watching a bunch of animes that she, you know, recommended as well. I was just like telling her a bunch of stories from the animes that I watched, and then she was like super engrossed by it. Yeah, that became a thing. But I never really pursued her because I was just this guy like right beside her, and a lot of suitors were right there, and it was kind of sad too because all the girls were like, you know, angry at her because she's stealing all the boys' attention. They were all trying to befriend her, but at the back, like they were backstabbing her while she's away. Everyone's like, this girl is such a bitch. And it doesn't also help that, you know, she's also like from a different country, so they would do like sassy remarks that she wouldn't understand. I kind of sensed that one. Like I felt really bad for her, so I just ended up like this best friend of hers. I never really pursued anything. I just ended up like a best friend. I'm like a guy who's like, I'm just totally okay with this. I'm just gonna be her friend. That's it. And they had this like school prom thing. She was dancing with all of them, and I was like, no, no. What's crazy was she chose all of her interactions with me. Every time when we go to lunch, she would just like hang around under this tree with me in the middle of the school, and we would often just sit there like talking about whatever. And one time I forgot my lunch. She ends up sharing the food with me, and I'm like, oh fuck, we're under this tree, and like people are like walking by. I can't do this, so I ended up just like taking one. Okay, I'm full. I think I'm full. Yummy. I'm full. That's basically the everyday of our lives. Is just like every afternoon, every lunch. Yeah, at the very end of like probably no, not at the very end, but she asked me out. Me? Why me? Like, now I don't know, because you're like you know, you're there for me and everything. Like it was all through text, by the way. It was all through no, I think it was Messenger. I think it was all through Messenger. Like I don't remember what I said specifically. She was very smart. She was always at the top, and I was like always at the bottom. Like, oh fuck, I need some fucking motivation here. My mom was almost giving up on me. She was like She was like, you know, as long as you pass, it's fine. And then when I finally hit probably like a high school, I was always at the top with her. And like, yay, my son. My son is actually like improving. I don't know what happened. And turns out it's just all the mindset. I gotta prove to the world that I'm not dumb. I can make it to the top with her. The sad thing here is after high school, she went back to Japan. She went back and lived there in Japan. What ended up happening was, let's do this long distance relationship thing. Just doing all these relationship talks through DMs and stuff like jung, 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 jung. And then eventually, you know, we ended up becoming busy. We were both workaholics, mind you. Everything just like went silent. I decided to like, you know, break it off. I said, you know what? I don't feel anything anymore. And we have not been talking for a span of like 2 years now. And I'm probably holding you back into having relationships of your own, because I don't want that type of relationship where this person wouldn't go out on dates because she has a boyfriend, and I was that boyfriend during that time. She has no promises of going back to, you know, South Elysium anyways. Since you're not even gonna go back here, just live there. I have no plans of staying in Japan anyways. So just stay there, live a happy life. I didn't even feel sad about it. That's the saddest thing. I never felt sad about it because it was just dead. At first it was lonely. I ended up like just the only guy who's like saying like all these anniversaries. They would just be like late replies, and she would do that too, but I would also be late. It's like a mutual thing. Like, I don't think this is gonna work out anymore. It's not anything toxic. It was just a very tragic thing that happened. It's over. That's just my tea. I'm sharing my tea. And because I will continue the story from here on out. When I was exploring the place, right, I saw this particular store from one of my ex's parents, which was the mom. And it was very awkward for me because I remembered all the shit that I promised to her that I would take care of her daughter and stuff like that. All of the memories of like the shit that I did when I was like a kid went flooding back because it was my very first relationship as well. I wanted to prove to her that I was like the perfect man for your daughter. I went into her DMs like saying, ma'am, I will do whatever it takes to take care of your daughter through thick and thin. I will be faithful to your daughter. But you know, she was already fond of me because I would always use this excuse to go to her house by saying like, oh, we have like an assignment. Oh, we have a project. And I would always end up like, you know, bonding with her and the rest of the family type shift. I was scared to go in. I stopped midway. I ended up like looking like a fucking stalker, I swear to God. Thankfully, like a lot of years has already passed and she probably doesn't recognize me. So I was just like, you know, sitting around like outside the thing, just looking at her. Oh my fucking God. Just trying to reminiscence, you know, like it takes some time to process everything. A part of me wanted to say hi, like it's been a while, but then again, I already like did an extensive like, you know, text. I went into like my ex's DMs like saying, I'm sorry for this to happen, whatever. She probably told all of that to her. Thank God I had a mask on. So now I look like fucking so suspicious. What ended up happening eventually was she walked out, so I ended up like following. So I was like, now I look even weird. And she went to the direction where I was supposed to go, which was the real estate place. Uh-oh, I have a bad feeling about this. Out of curiosity, I looked around the corner and shit, she went right next door. She went right next door to the thing. I heard her yelling like in Japanese because she's like a Japanese or whatever, because my ex is a part Japanese. Let's call her Ayumi. Like, Ayumi! Ayumi! Oh my God, she's there! I talked to my real estate agent and like I booked a grab, like, nah, okay, I'll just contact you as soon as I can. I do not have the balls to walk back up there. I posted all of this onto Twitter. Like 1 million fucking people suddenly turned up and like like fucking Filipinos out there with their like magbalika na kayo. You guys are so fucking thirsty. That did not mean to be like a banger tweet. Not just strangers. Elizabeth, Flayon, Banzoin Haka, and Ollie. Jesus, they were all tuning like, oh my, this is like K-drama shit. Like, what the fuck is bro saying? Why are you sharing this shit? Well, I thought it was just gonna be like a silly story, you know? I reassured my fans, my parasocial fans, to calm down because I am moving. I do not want to have any sort of reconnection, rekindling, because I've already moved on. I am in no position to be in a relationship. This kind of work that I do right now is not very healthy for people that's gonna be together. Like, imagine me as a workaholic who's not really financially stable throughout all the times, and like not ready for me to be present in their lives, I think that's just gonna be a sad time. If I ever were to have like a relationship, I would just have it low-key at all. I'm just gonna not post anything on socials, aka low-key meaning I'm single. I'm just gonna have it like, you know, from me to her type shift. Stuff like that.